Rotherham has drawn up plans to beat Japan's lead in the cheap organ market. The company, Hazelwood Electronics in Parkgate near Rotherham, intends to make good quality organs at half the price of Japanese models. Well, that's all for now, John.
Of liquid gas. The potential danger became apparent when cartridges at Redgate's store in Sheffield began to leak. Redgate's had stored the canisters for emergency use during the electricity workers' strike in 1972. Health departments in both Leeds and Sheffield have warned that canisters of this type, usually containing butane or propane, are not meant to be kept for a long time and can corrode and leak after 4 years. Of keeping alive. It's been their day of action. Roger Greenwood reports.
We're at the Scottish Pensioners Action Day. All over the country, our senior citizens are saying in different ways, help. Essentials, gas, electricity, water, all carry standing charges. We all pay that before we start paying for what we use of these crucial elements and services. The pensioners want exemption from standing charges. They also want more free travel, cheaper television licences and, of course, pensions to keep pace with the cost of living.
A train, believed to be carrying nuclear waste, made its way through South Yorkshire. The protesters gathered on the bridge overlooking Maspra station in the centre of Rotherham to await the train due at 10:45. They believed that a train carrying either a container of nuclear warhead material or spent fuel from a nuclear submarine would pass beneath them on its way from the naval dockyard at Chatham to the Windscale nuclear reprocessing plant in Cumbria.
The implications of it are not just that there could be a major disaster if one of these trains had an accident, but that the stuff is going to be used for military purposes. They're going to make bombs to kill people with.
I've been objecting ever since Hiroshima. I was in the campaign for nuclear disarmament in the 60s. I went on the Aldermaston March, the march from Pilingdale and several demonstrations in London. And what I'm pleased about today is the overwhelming support right away throughout the world there is now against these nuclear weapons.
About 45 minutes behind schedule, the train, with an unusual truck in its centre, passed beneath the bridge and the anti-nuclear protesters and went through the station. Roger Greenwood spoke to Councillor Norman West, chairman of South Yorkshire County Council's Anti-Nuclear Working Party.
The Yorkshire Brick Company in Barnsley is tackling its fuel bills in an ingenious way. Tests show that rotting rubbish on the company's dump at Starefoot near Barnsley can produce gas valued at about £200 a day. The experiments to see if the rubbish can be turned into gas went ahead after the firm heard of similar tests in the United States. The rubbish into gas scheme is being closely watched by South Yorkshire County Council to see if the scheme can be used elsewhere. Started for Thomas Ward's, the Sheffield-based engineering and construction group. Rio Tinto Zinc, the mining combine, snapped up almost 15% of Ward's shares in a dawn raid on the stock exchange. It's now bidding for the remainder of the shares, valuing the whole Ward business at more than £110 million. But Ward's directors have turned down the offer, describing it as wholly unacceptable and inadequate.
A new workshop scheme to help
Bolsover near Chesterfield may be listed as being of architectural interest. Conservationists say it's the best preserved colliery village in the area, and Bolsover Council is asking the Environment Secretary, Michael Heseltine, to list it. The village was built by Quakers soon after the local colliery opened in 1891. Not all the tenants are impressed by the latest news. Redundant miner Eric Hudson says the best thing the authorities could do is to knock it all down.
A youth of 19 Power Services Commission in their new national headquarters in Sheffield. When the move of MSC's staff is completed by the end of 1982, most of their meetings will take place here at Moorfoot in Sheffield. Already 300 local staff have been taken on, that figure rising soon to 500. At today's meeting, members discussed new plans to bring down unemployment. Afterwards, I asked the director, Richard Holland, why the Commission has come to Sheffield.
Well, we wanted to be black ice. The conditions led to a number of road accidents, the worst being at Wadshelf near Chesterfield, where a car and a lorry collided. The car driver, who's not yet been named, died trapped in the wreckage of his vehicle, and his body had to be cut free by firemen. The accident occurred near the Highwayman Public House, and it blocked the A619 road for 2 hours. After the accident, the lorry driver was unhurt. Elsewhere overnight, snow and black ice meant speed restrictions on motorways and a number of minor collisions, but no serious injuries were reported. North Derbyshire was worst hit by the weather. The Woodhes Pass was blocked for a time today after a lorry jackknifed in an inch of snow. The Winnets Pass was also closed and there were several minor accidents as cars skidded on ice and snow. All roads in the area are now open.